Hey guys, it's Glenn from GlennCarCollection.com, and today is my 2-year review of my 2020 BMW M340i XDrive. It's actually over 2 years. I leased this car, I leased this car for 3 years, so in this video we'll go over the good and the bad, the options that I think are must-have, performance. I try to do something different in every video, so if I didn't cover a certain thing, it's for a reason, because I may have done in the 1-year review or some other review about the car. So I try to do the topics a little different. Now, I'm actually over 2 years by the time you see this video. I actually leased this kind of during the heart of the pandemic, just when the dealerships just started to reopen after they were closed for the lockdown. I leased this car June 1st of 2020. So you're gonna see this video in August. So it's about 26 months instead of 24, so I apologize for that. And I guess the first video, I got this from BMW Tenafly, and if you like these kind of videos, you know, consider subscribing. I do everything, mainly manual transmission sports cars, but I do my daily drivers as well, exotic cars. So remember to like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification so you don't miss a video. I do at least 2 videos a week, sometimes even a 3rd video, and you won't know unless you hit that notification bell, and it's free. So I leased this from BMW Tenafly, again, June 1st, 2020. The first video I ever did for them was, I think, in 2019 of a 2020 BMW M340i XDrive. It was sapphire black, and I was blown away at how good that car is. I absolutely love that car. And I've always bought the M cars, always the M3s. I think I've had about 9 M cars, E46 M3s, E90 M3s, the M2, the 1 Series M, the Z3 M Coupe, all those things. So I really didn't consider a 3 Series. I did have an E36 3 Series back in the day, 328i sedan, 5-speed, and that was a great car. That was my first real estate car. So as you know, if you follow the channel, I had the Audi S8 of 2013, which was not the V10, but the V8 twin turbo. I love that car, but out of warranty repairs were killing me, plus running costs. 21-inch wheels, going through tires every 10,000 miles, also having winter tires on it. So come on, let's go. And out of warranty repairs were the big killer for that car, unfortunately, because I love that car. So this was the first time I considered a 3 Series, and when I drove that M340 back in 2019, again, it was a 2020 model, they'd just come out, I was blown away, and I said, this could be a really good car. And to replace the S8, I mean, in hindsight, I probably would have waited 1 more year and gone with the new M3. That didn't come out to, I think, model year 2021 or late in, late, a year after this car was out, because this car actually came out in 2019. So I think that came out as 2020, as a 2021 model, but correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. And that you can get in stick too, but not in the all-wheel drive. So with this car, I thought this would be a fantastic car to have as a daily driver. It's not a sports car, don't let that M badge fool you, but it is certainly a fantastic daily driver. Now, I leased this for 3 years, 36,000 miles, for $595 a month, and that was in the middle of the pandemic, so there were certainly a lot of manufacturer discounts going on because the cars weren't even selling. When I did the lease payments, the finance guy in the dealership, that was his first day back from the lockdown, so a lot of people were furloughed. So this was severely discounted, this car. I think the sticker price was like $66,000, because this is a fully loaded car, and I probably got like $6,000 or $7,000 off sticker, like some ridiculous amount. And I had them trade for this car, so I wanted Portimao blue, and the dealership Tenafly had Dravid gray, which is a beautiful color, I think sapphire black, and like a regular gray color. And I found this blue one on my own, and I actually had them swap for me. So I think if I had gotten the gray or black, I probably could have got it a bigger discount even. And then ton of 330s, they had like a 4-month lease on that, probably could even discount that if I wanted a 330. Most of these new 3 Series that I see are 330s. I would say 80 to 90% of them. You don't see an M340 too often. And one thing I love about it is the grille, and that's the easiest way to tell the difference. We've done 330 reviews on this channel a couple times. This is the 330 grille, which by itself I think looks really well. Really nice. And those grills open, I think, as the engine needs more cooling. But then this is the 340 grill, which I think looks fantastic, really makes the car, at least it does to me. So I got my favorite color. I wanted an all-wheel drive car for work. I'm a commercial real estate broker, if you follow the channel, and I go up and down the turnpike all over the state of New Jersey, so I have to go regardless of the weather. So I have a lot of rear drive manual transmission cars that I own, So for work, I want a comfortable, fast, all-wheel drive sedan. And even an automatic, because I sit in traffic sometimes, and the last thing you want to do with a client in the car is with a stick shift. And we haven't had clients in the car since the pandemic, but I'm assuming that's going to go away, and we'll do that at some point. So I still want to have a daily driver that's 4 doors. What else can I tell you about the car? So some surprising things about the car. I bought it for the acceleration. Obviously, if you don't need the acceleration, you can get a 330 for a lot less money, and it's still a fantastic car. And with that turbo 4-cylinder, you still get a lot of torque down low. In this car, I'm a speed freak, and New Jersey, I'm sort of just like your state. We have a lot of slow cars in the left lane, usually Priuses or something, and you got to get around these cars, and I just want the passing power of this car. And it gets surprisingly great gas mileage. I would say on the highway, I'm probably getting about 30 miles to the gallon, and I have a heavy foot. And what's really good with this is you have passing power at highway speed. So you go in 60, you need to go to 80 for a few seconds to pass somebody. This car really goes, and it really accelerates fast to merge on the highway, which I think is a big help. As far as the motor goes, it's a turbocharged inline 6. Let's signal, we'll go left here. 382 horsepower, 369 foot-pounds of torque. Now, BMW, this is available in New Jersey on dealer lots. I've only seen all-wheel drive with run-flat tires, and that's what this has. More about the run-flat tires in a second. But elsewhere, you can get this in rear drive, and you can also option summer tires. If you lived up here, you would definitely need winter tires, and I'm a big believer of a rear drive car with winter tires, sometimes even more than an all-wheel drive car with all seasons, because what's most important is your driving shoes, which in this case is your tires. So in this case, winter tires. It's just like, I'll give you a hockey analogy since I play hockey. You're not going to ice skate in dress shoes, right? So what's more important, having the nice shoes or the ones that are fit for the job? So that's why I would probably take rear drive with snow tires over all-wheel drive with all-season tires. But keep in mind, if you have some steep hills, sometimes rear drive is hard to climb them, even in snow tires. So now this, when we're stopped at a light like we are now, it'll actually set back the air conditioning. It'll do the auto shut off. You can cancel that with a button. And if you're in one of the sport modes, then it won't shut off on you. So that's a good break there. Let's see what I would say about the car. So favorite things about the car, again, I said it before, I just love how the grille looks on this car. I think it's awesome. But the reason I bought this is the power, not necessarily the looks, because I think the 330 is a good looking car. Now, as far as pricing goes, if you wanted to lease one now, you're probably going to pay close to full sticker. This is a pretty fully optioned car. It has the autonomous cruise control. It has the 360 camera. It has the $1,500, it's probably more than that now because every year they make the options more expensive. The NASCAR leather, that's one of my favorites too. Too many times now you see on newer German cars, you see the fake leather, and I really prefer the real leather. A couple things I'd like to see on this car are cooled seats with this black interior. Wearing a suit to do my showings, it gets really hot. So I would love to see cooled seats. Cooled seats, I think, would make a tremendous difference. Cooled seats, my friend Max just got an M3, a new one, and he has cooled seats. So it's available on the M3s, but otherwise a regular 3 Series, you have to step up to the 5 Series to get that cooled seat. I'd love to see massage seats too, but that's not going to happen. If I had to do this over again, I probably would have picked the summer tires. Again, I bought this off a lot, so I didn't spec the car. And the factories were closed at the time because they were making ventilators or what have you. So there was no other way to do anything with the car. My main complaint is the handling is not as sharp with these run flat all season. It's fine for a daily driver, and it's comfortable, and the air conditioning works great, and it's been super reliable. I haven't been back to the dealer for anything except for like recalls and stuff that it's had, and the service has been free. Let's go this way. I'll show you a little acceleration on the highway. We'll get to the highway in 2 minutes. So I'm under the miles on this. I have, I think, about 18,000 miles. So far, a little over 2 years, roughly 9,000 miles a year, where I thought I was going to be way over and maybe even perhaps buying the car out just because I was so over the miles, but that's not going to happen. So in a way, it worked out good with the pandemic that I didn't have to worry about any of that. So any negatives of the car? The biggest negative to me is the run flat tires, and you can easily order this car and spec it out. A negative now would probably be the price from what I hear, and leave me a comment. Let me know in the comment below. They're probably leasing in that $700 to $800 range, and I would probably just buy, you know, a used M3 or something for that price. Certainly you're not going to get this car. It's good acceleration there. Certainly you're not going to get a car like this, but you can get an F80 M3 certainly for that price. And I would probably go with that. You can get a manual transmission. It'd be rear drive, not all-wheel drive, but certainly a fun car. But this engine is fantastic because this is the B58 engine. The new M3 has the S58, but it really is a powerful punch. I wouldn't be surprised if it's really 400 or about 380 to the wheels. So in everyday situations, it's great. I love driving it. The hardest part is when you get these cars new is that 1,000-mile or 1,200-mile break-in where you got to drive like a granny. And then if you're not getting into this engine, then it just feels like a 3 Series. So that's the downside to it. Run flat tires. Oh, so that's another point. I'm probably going to have to replace the rears. So at 17, almost 18,000 miles, that's mainly because of the acceleration. I have a heavy foot, so I tend to go through rear tires pretty quickly. But otherwise, there's really nothing wrong here. So the lane keeping, like those safety options, I probably wouldn't get, like the autonomous cruise control. I know people love it with the stop and go traffic. I'm not a huge fan of using that cruise control because I have to hold the wheel, say at the 4 o'clock or 7 o'clock position while you're doing it. So if I'm going to hold the wheel anyway, which you should obviously for safety reasons, why don't I just steer the car? Why am I letting the car steer? And it doesn't steer that great. Now, this cruise control is 1,000 times better than the cruise control I had in my 2013 Audi S8. So it's improved tremendously, but it's still not good enough to me that I would use it. I think I can drive it better. Now, I know a lot of people say for their commute, for stop and go traffic or on long trips, it's very refreshing. So maybe that's true and I just haven't used it enough, but I'm going to use it more and more and try to report back on that. But to me, that's not an option that you need. An option that you definitely need, I think, is that 360 camera, because instead of just getting a regular backup camera, you get the 360. And I went over this in the other video, so we don't have to spend time on it here. And you know, it has videos from every corner of the car. It shows your car in a parking space. You can even save, I forget, 3 or 5 different places. I think it's 5. So if you have a tight driveway at work, would say a big curb where you have to park in your space, it'll come up so you don't hit that curb. So there's a lot of good things that you can use to make this as a daily driver. Now I haven't, anytime we've gotten big snowstorms, I've been home for the day, so I haven't really tested it out in the snow. Obviously snow tires will work better, but I think the all-seasons will be fine in most conditions. All right, so I love this car. I'm very glad I bought it. This $595 payment that I thought was expensive then now seems cheap in this market, but I'm going to miss this car when it's gone, and it's gone in like 10 months. So I don't know what the replacement is. So replacements that I'm thinking of, and again, I have a commission job, so it depends what I close, and not only what I close, what I get paid for, because sometimes my paycheck is a year behind, depending on you know, leasing a commercial space. And you know, I'd consider a 2018 M5, like buying a CPO, one of those, or an AMG 63S. I just think the leases are pretty high. I would love to get my number one would be the M3, the new M3, because I need the 4-door car. I'd probably go for a daily driver. I'd probably go with the competition with the XDrive, so that would be a torque converter automatic. But again, it's my work car. I have plenty of rear drive manual transmission cars, so I don't need another one as my daily driver. So I'd want to have each of my cars different. So I'm probably thinking that. The problem is they just raised the price, I think $3,500 for the next model year for the M3, and it's at least a year wait. So I may not get them until 2 model years, which would be too far because this lease is up, unless I just bought one. But if you want a slightly used one, you're going to pay over sticker. So I don't think I want to do that. And at that $92,000 price range, I'd rather get an $80,000 M5 that's CPO. That's just, I guess, the way I look at it. Though the M3 would be more fun. It's nimble, lighter weight. You could probably do track days with it and stuff like that, which you're not taking the M5 to track days. And so that's what I'm thinking now. Let me know what you think I should get next in the comments below. If you have any experience with this car, the M340, please leave a comment below. And let me know what car you want me to review next. Always leave that comment in every video, and when we get to enough comments, I'll try to go out and find that car. And say something realistic. Don't say Bugatti Veyron. All right, thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time.